This section deals with those who are entering the retirement phase, and basically is a checklist of some things that they should be doing prior to retiring and drawing down from their superannuation fund. I guess each of us need to look at that, as it's a major change in our life, and so I've just listed some points here of some things that you need to consider before embarking on that large encounter. Retirement, of course, has everything to do with lifestyle and preparation of fiscal planning beforehand, along with some plans as to what to do during retirement to replace the working life with something else that's more worthwhile and something else that obviously should be more happier and more fulfilling. I guess you don't stop work if you enjoy work, and so there are some who continue to work on way past when they're able to retire, and there's nothing wrong with that either. The first thing that I think you should consider is to review your superannuation fund trust deed to make sure that the pension and lump sum options that are available by law are also permitted in your deed. You don't want to be, and you can't be, drawing down benefits out of your superannuation fund which may be permitted under law but are contrary to your deed. A big no-no. Ensure that all of your superannuation contributions are in the fund before you start your pension. That's pretty important, especially if you're making capital gains tax rollovers, retirement rollovers, or if you're making some major salary sacrifice, or if you're rolling your ETP or lump sum on termination payments, long service leave, etc. into superannuation. It's important that all those get in there before you convert it to pension mode. It is possible to take in contributions after you've begun pension mode. It gets a little bit tricky, and of course your compliance costs at the end of the year are more expensive. If you make a last minute personal contribution, which is basically an after-tax contribution, you need to complete a form and have it lodged with the ATO to obtain the tax deduction. And this must be lodged before taking your first pension payment. And that's really critical and really important. It has to be received before you take down your first drawdown of either a pension or a lump sum payment out of your superannuation fund. So, a big point. You should amalgamate all of your superannuation into one fund. You shouldn't have bits and pieces of policies scattered all over the place. This saves on the taxation administration and helps the trustee of your estate how to handle your members' account in the event of your death. It also helps those who are the executors of your will, that if they know where your superannuation is, rather than having it scattered all over the place. Ensure that you know what you're doing, and you're doing the paperwork behind the scenes to change from an accumulation account to a pension account in your super fund. We can of course do that for you. It's easy for us. We have the minutes, we have the documents all set up in order to do that. So just let us know when that's going to happen. It's better for us to know it during the year rather than at the end of the year when we're doing the compliance work. Far better to know it when it happens rather than after the fact. It's really good to have a home budget prepared so that you can determine how much you need from your super fund to live. It's best to have practice living on that budget beforehand, so you've got a practical knowledge of how much is needed and when it's needed, rather than just having a best guess approach. What a best guess approach basically means is that you're over cashed up in your super fund, and of course cash doesn't earn the same amounts of return as other investments can. So best to have a home budget already working and living on before you retire. Make sure you know from us or your financial advisor what the minimum amount is that you must take from your superannuation fund in any given year. Heather from Holsworth Law can give you that amount of money. It's important that you know what the minimum amount is. There's no maximum, But there is a minimum, which really sounds stupid, but that's just the way that it is. And it's important that you draw down that minimum. Review what investments you need to make in order to pay your pension or to pay a lump sum payment. You need to also consider into that, money that you need for holidays or for major home maintenance or a car replacement. Your investments need to have ready cash flow to pay your pension, but also you have to be able to crystallise some into cash and on a timely basis in order to meet the larger one-off expenses that occur from time to time. You can retire and then return to work. That's possible, and that's quite common now during the GFC with investments and super funds going down substantially. A lot of self-funded retirees who weren't on defined benefit pensions have actually returned back to work. And it's possible to return back to work. It's possible to have a salary sacrifice system in place and to have a transition to retirement income stream in place. You're not locked in. You can stop your pension, or you can continue with some pension and salary sacrificing into your super. Talk to Scott or Heather here at Holsworth Law about how to accomplish that. With Australians now working past the age of 65, many have returned back to work with investments declining. So best to seek advice before you get back to work on how to accomplish that, especially if you're over the age of 65 years. That's really important. Well, that's the end of that presentation. Just a bit of a hit list on what you can and can't do, what you should be doing in order to prepare for retirement. Thank you.